rep there in the 10-10-10 because he's not really up to speed on what we're doing. But I think Andy probably said the same thing with Orlando Brown, although Orlando Brown's been here, so he knows what he's doing. But it's going to be a little bit of a ramp up. And we'll kind of, when he feels like he's got it down, we'll get him in there and get him rolling.
Mike Dana, you're doing some different things with him out there. What tells you he's ready for maybe a little bit more than what you gave him?
Yeah, listen, Mike is one of those guys. I think I've said this before about Mike. He's as solid as you get in all facets, physicality, being in the right place, knowing exactly what to do. He's a pro. Turk's the same way. We got a few guys like that, and as many guys as we think can help us out on the field, we're going to try to find some ways to get them in there. And we've always been on a rotation deal with the D-line, so I don't think that will change.
You mentioned a rotation deal, Coach. It seems like over the past week, Joshua Williams as well as Jalen Watson have been working with the ones. What are you looking for specifically with those two?
Yeah, a little bit of challenge in each guy. I mean, nobody is handed over a spot, right? So when you get a little bit comfortable, that's not a good thing in this business. So we do that just to make sure that they're all aware that nothing's won right now. Nothing's carved in stone right now in terms of who's playing where and what. Now we'll eventually get there, but and the other thing is when you're at any position, when you're maybe playing with the third group and all the third group guys are all young, it doesn't go off quite as smooth. You know what I mean? So sometimes we put him at the first group to see how he functions when everybody's functioning fast. You're working with Nick, and so that's a reason why we put Jalen up there a little bit to see what he functions with. I thought he's had two really good practices. I mean, were you in yesterday in the indoor there? The first couple of snaps there, I thought he did a really nice job in coverage. And he's come along. He was kind of a slow mover early. I think he's kind of figuring out that doesn't really work at this level. So you got to practice everything fast.
Coach Carlos, he's just shown a consistency over like the past 10 years to just get to the quarterback. Why do you think he has just such a knack for that?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's done it for a long time, and the system he was in Cincinnati all those years was kind of conducive to him. Mike Zimmer had him for a long time, and what they were doing, it was a 4-down system, call it what you want. I mean, we're multiple now, so we're in a couple of different things, but I think he functions well outside. We talked to him about playing inside. We'll see where that goes. I'm not really sure. I want to get him comfortable at one spot first. But again, I go back to the length, and he knows how to get to the quarterback. I mean, sometimes that's just innate. I always say 70% of pass rushers want to, not necessarily technique.
At this stage, how has Trent been settling in your estimation?
Great job. I think he's done an outstanding job. Now, we'll probably move him around a little bit too, but we need to get him settled in a spot eventually. I think he's competed really well with the bunch of really good veteran wideouts we have. And the thing I like about Trent is when it hasn't gone great for him, he's not one of those guys that sticks his head in the sand. Bounces right back up. That's a good quality.
Do you want to talk detail about Josh Williams and what stood out to you about him so far?
I like Dave Merritt and I both like the way he presses at the line of scrimmage. He's really bought into the technique we use. Not everybody, it's not comfortable for everybody, but he has bought into it. He's trying to do things exactly the way we ask him, and if he keeps doing that, I think he'll get better and better.
Is there some value in having, you got Dunlap, you've got Frank Clark, to just another voice, another veteran to tell George Carlisle?
Yeah, you just never know. Like, every veteran is not a vocal leader. I don't know that about Carlos yet. Like, I don't know if he's the silent assassin leader or if he's the vocal leader or if he just leads by example. I mean, we'll figure that out. I don't know him well enough. We'll figure it out, though.
George talked about the importance of Frank Clark after practice, him going through different things and helping him out. What have you seen from Frank as far as from the mentorship part of it?
Frank is really taking it upon himself this year to be that kind of guy. Now, what that tells me when George is saying that is that he wants to receive that kind of information. And if he's talking about it, that means he enjoys it. Some guys don't. Every personality is different. But George is a sponge. He does that with everything. He's over there asking me questions. He's asking Joe questions. He's asking Terry questions. Every vet that he can. He'll text Coach Cullen questions. I mean, that's a pretty good trait, right? Maybe he's texting Frank questions too. I don't know. But
Frank talked about some of the physical changes that he made in the offseason.
I missed who you said.
Frank talked about some of the physical changes. What have you seen from him physically? He dropped weight, let alcohol and red meat out of his diet. a lot different than last year?
He does. He looks lean right now. But listen, Frank, I've always said this about Frank. He's powerful from here down. Way back when I was in Philadelphia, we had a guy by the name of Hugh Douglas. Now, Hugh was thicker than Frank, but I always would watch Hugh, and I just felt like the reason he was such a good player was because of how strong he was from here down, not necessarily what he had up top. And so even though Frank may look a little light, his long arms and his explosiveness from the hips down, I think he still has that.
You mentioned him being a mentor for George. Is that a difference that you've seen compared to years past where he's being more vocal?
When George says that, I mean, I'm being honest, I don't know that. I don't see that. I mean, I take George at his word that Frank's talking to him, but I can't recollect back in other years. I mean, we had, when Mike Dana came in here, you might want to ask Mike. Mike, when you came in as a rookie, was Frank the same way with you as he is to George right now? So I let the players roll on that.
Steve, in terms of what have you learned
from Brian Cook so far in camp?
Yeah, a lot. The guy's a good football player, and he picks up things quickly, wants to know everything. Like, he's a sponge. He's a lot like George. He wants to know the whole thing. It looks pretty natural to him right now. Now, we'll see when we get in a real game, but that part I like.
Steve, in terms of player evaluation, are the preseason games any better for you than what you see out here on a real practice day?
I think in some ways, because there's a little bit more pressure, right? There's people watching. They know that every other team has got an eyeball on them. And anytime we can put pressure on these guys, in my opinion, it's a good thing. So I value the preseason games.
So with that said, are there guys you're particularly interested in getting a look at it when you guys play?
Yeah, this year, with all the new faces, there's quite a few. Now, I don't know how Coach Reed will want to navigate that. I mean, whatever the head coach, that's up to Andy, really.
Everybody's going to play.
Yeah, and it's just a matter of how much. And
but there's nobody you're particularly eager to get a look at, whether that's a lot of
you're talking about in a game situation. As a general rule, the signal callers, the guys at the Mike linebacker positions and the guy at the safeties positions, because we're going to need that when it's all said and done. So if nobody in particular, but those spots in particular.
Coach, we've seen Leo, we've seen that he can hit, right?
Yeah.
But as far as dropping back in coverage, is that a point of emphasis where
listen, he'll get through that. Those guys develop that. I mean, is it going to be a little bit new to him right now? Yeah. Is he better going forward than backward right now? Yeah, because it's all new. But once he starts to figure it out, I think he's going to be fine.
Dave Tote talked about him, just players, young players, being able to he can pick up as far as like if they're able to be out there and they know exactly. He can tell exactly what how good they are.
Yeah.
And how long does it take for you?
Well, good in terms is a couple different goods. Good physically, but you're gonna be able to tell that, and what you and I were talking about. The mental part of it, I always test. So you guys don't always see the walkthroughs we do. I call them ACTs, alignment, communication, and technique. I do them fast. Now we got just some managers running around, but I do them fast on purpose, because I'm looking at them and seeing how fast they're thinking. To do a walkthrough as a slow deal, I don't get any feedback out of that. So we're always testing them that way too.
Coach, you know what you have in Rashad Fenton, but he's missed a lot of time.
Yeah.
With the competition going on at the cornerback position, how do you anticipate working Fenton into this mix?
He's going to get right in there and be competing with that same group. I mean, he's played some good football for us, especially on the outside. We just want to get him healthy and get him back there. I'm anxious to get him back out there and rolling. I'm looking forward to it. He'll be right in there. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
What's up, guys?
Is this camp any different for you? I mean, in years past, you were trying to prove yourself or didn't necessarily have a starting spot locked in, but it seems like you're the likely starter at right tackle. So are you approaching this camp any different from the standpoint?
No, not really. Nothing's ever guaranteed, especially on this team with the amount of skill we have in the O-line room. So there's competition every day, even if it's not what it seems. That's what it is to me.
How much more comfortable are you at right tackle, having played out there last year? Because you were guard most of your career up to that point.
Yeah, I'm very comfortable out there. Now I'm just taking this time in camp to kind of add more to the right tackle game, switching up sets, just getting more comfortable. But yeah, no, it's a comfortable position for me.
What did it mean to the room to have Orlando report to camp and not hold
Oh, it's awesome, man. It's completely different energy out there with Orlando, man. He's a big source of energy on the O-line and the team. So, it's great having him back.
Andrew, can you elaborate on that? Why is he a big source of energy? What you see from him?
You guys see, he's literally huge, and then he's always smiling. You know what I mean? So, and he's talkative. He brings, he does that. He vocalizes in the huddle. He gets everybody's energy up, kind of like the Travis Kelce type that's been doing it for years. So, he's just a great source of energy on the offense.
Andrew, I think you were first on the right tackle in that Saints game, right?
Yeah.
When you think back to that initial game to now, just how do you sort of compare yourself to the version of
now I know a lot more what's going on. You know what I mean? I was in that game. I was just playing guard on the outside, type of thing. Where now, my game has a lot more to it out at right tackle. Like I just kind of mentioned, switching up sets. I can see the defense a lot better now too. So I've grown a lot out at right tackle, and it's very comfortable for me.
To build off that point, Andrew, from Pete's question, is there a difference this offseason knowing just tackle versus maybe a year ago? It could be if they need me at guard, make sure that's where you need to be versus
the offseason.
Yeah.
You're saying? No, I still work both guard and tackle in the offseason. I try to be that versatile piece that I kind of always have been here. So I don't stop working on my guard reps, and I continue to work on the left side as well. So the offseason for me is always kind of the same, working guard and tackle.
Can you compare this year's line to last year's? Can you compare where you are now versus where you guys were a year ago when you had so many young guys?
Those young guys are grown now, and they're good football players. So, and we brought back a lot of we got a lot of the same guys in the room, and now it's just an older room, and so we're expecting to go out there and kick a lot of ass this year, and we got a great O-line.
From a physical standpoint, do you change up, how you build your body up in the off season to play tackle versus guard?
Not really. Nothing. I've always kind of had the same routine, nutritionally and then training wise. It's just now that I do different things when I train that are position specific. But no, not really nutritionally, and I just kind of take the same stuff in the off season.
You say everybody's kind of grown up, but you're the old guard. I guess you're 6 now. For you.
Yeah, 6. Yeah.
You're one of the vets of this team. How's that roll for you, especially with the offensive line?
Still a weird feeling. Like, I kind of started noticing it last year when we had that, big overhaul of new guys on the O-line, and it was just kind of me and Mike Remmers and Nick Allegretti, you know what I mean? So, still kind of a weird feeling being that vet in the room, but we got a bunch of vets in there, so, it's nothing too crazy.
How has Kennard adjusted to being a pro and into the room in general?
He's doing well. And you can see it every day. He's improving out on the field. He's also a good source of energy in the room. Good young guy to have in the O-line.
When you entered this offseason, understand that you do work guard and tackle, but was there a point where the coaching staff ever come up to you and say, hey, we want you to focus more on the tackle position?
No, it was kind of implied that I'd be out at tackle this year, at least from my understanding. But, I take it as kind of a personal responsibility to be able to continue to do both guard and tackle. But yeah, I guess it was implied that I would be playing tackle, and I did spend a majority of the time.
Did that affect your decision when you were a free agent that you wanted to come back here to play tackle?
Yeah, I guess I entered free agency as a tackle, and teams were looking at me as a tackle, and I knew when I signed here I'd be playing tackle. But so yeah.
We saw you against George in one-on-ones. What have you seen on the opposite side in Carolina?
He's a physical young guy, and he brings the heat. He's got a variety of different moves that he uses, and he brings the juice on that D line. So he's a fun player to go against, especially in one-on-ones.
When you study film, how critical are you of yourself? And what did you see last year from your work at right tackle that you felt like you need to improve on coming into this year?
Yeah, I'm very critical, as we all are in the O-line room, as is Coach Heck when he's critiquing us. So there's a numerous amount of things that I continued in the offseason to work on and still working on every day in camp. Staying square, shooting the right hand, specifically targeting the part of the body that you want to punch. But yeah, very, very critical of ourselves, as we all are in the O-line room.
Carlos is over here. Had you ever gone against Carlos Dunlap before?
I think my first start in the NFL was against the Bengals, and I think he was out there. But I was guard, and I was blocking a whole lot of Geno that game. So.
Pretty good too.
Yeah, very.
Anything else? All right, good to go.
I appreciate y'all.
Good seeing you.
some of the main factors that led to your decision to sign with the Chiefs?
What were some of the main factors? Great opportunity with a great organization. What they've done the last few years, playing against them on the other side of the ball, I wanted to add what my specialties to it, and we felt like we had mutual interest.
Was it a difficult decision? Did you have several other teams that you had to decide from?
Yes, there were a couple other teams, and then obviously, these last week or so, ever since camp started, things heated up. But I liked what I heard from the Chiefs. That's why I came out here to meet with them in person to see how I fit, see how they would use me, see how I would contribute, see if it was a fit, and I'm here.
Did any specific players recruit you at all?
No.
We know that you work out with Orlando Brown and also Chris Jones down in Miami. How much did they talk to you? How much did you ask them about Kansas City?
I didn't, with the offers and stuff, they weren't down there at the same time. I think they were in OTAs when the first offer came, so I didn't really get that, but I had trained with them. We had worked out together, did all our stuff, normal individually, not knowing that I was going to be a Chief. So when I got here today, he's like, we didn't even know this was going to be a real thing. Both of them pretty much said that, so it's kind of cool that we already got to know each other a little bit this offseason because we've been working together.
Carlos, you signed a little bit later in free agency. What went into just that timetable for you?
Patience, This is my 13th year. I've done it 12 different ways. So I wanted to make sure I made an educated decision and went with a team, where, there was, mutual interest in, my ability to play and how I would be used and the opportunity to win. Because at this point, I've done a lot of football. One of the things I have not done is, I haven't got over 100 sacks, I haven't won a playoff game, and I haven't clearly won a Super Bowl. So those are things that I would like to do at this point in my career, and I'm in hot pursuit, and I feel like this team gives me a great opportunity, the best opportunity to do it. So,
Speaking of sacks, you've been able to get at least 6 since 2011. What goes into that consistency of just being able to get to the quarterback and make your mind?
My routine. So that's one of the big things that I'm trying to establish and figure out here. Today was the first day. So I contributed to my routine, my work ethic, my team that helps with my routine. So I got to find all the people here, delegate those tasks, and just get a routine and rhythm going.
Carlos, what did you like to hear most from either Andy Reid or Steve Spagnuolo when you were having those initial conversations and then when you were here before making the decision to sign?
The opportunity to play in every down. Obviously, we'll be rolling because we got a young bull, first-round pick who has a lot of talent. Sky's the limit for him. So the opportunity to play in every down, at this point in my career, because I've been a closer in so many games and have 96 sacks in my career, they try to correlate, with being older, taking down your snaps, but featuring you in passing situations. But I like to eat and wherever you put on the table, I like what's the word?
First down just as much as third.
Yeah, I could say it just like that. Yeah, first and second downs are just as important to me as third down. Obviously, I've done many things on third down, closed many games on third down, but I feel like if you impact the game early on first and second down, you can put the game away even sooner. And clearly, these guys have lit up the scoreboard 1,000,001 times. So, look forward to contributing my strengths to what they already do well here.
You're 4 sacks away from 100. Do you have something special planned if you get that 4 sack?
No, because getting over 100 puts me, in the top, I think I need 103 to get in the top 50-something or 40-something. So I want to shrink that down to at least get to, maybe top 25, 32. So 100 is a big milestone that I will, enjoy and celebrate and be proud of. But 4 sacks on the year is not my goal. I try to average 8. He said 6 the last few years, but I try to average 8 a year. And I want to go for more than that, obviously. And I put my money where my mouth is with the deal we did, structured it that way for, the incentives to increase it.
I understand you just got here yesterday, and then today was your first time actually observing the practice from the sidelines. What are your impressions so far as you look at what Steve Spagnuolo's defensive scheme wants you to do and how you fit there?
That's a tough question. You should ask me in a couple of days because I'm still learning the defense. I was up to about midnight last night trying to catch up on the install. I believe they're, a few installs ahead of me. I got 2 or 3 of them in yesterday, but today will be the day that I'm going to get with Coach one-on-one and get through it. Obviously, it's camp, so there's a lot of things, moving parts going on. Haven't had opportunity yet to sit and just go through it with them. So we're going to do that. So, give me a little bit of time to answer that question. Coach Cullen, yeah.
Carlos, it sounded like those were late night meetings when you came up here. Can you just describe
Oh,
those
yeah. That was another thing that showed the importance of, them wanting me to get here, because it's obviously camp. I landed at, 10:30, got here at like 11:30, and the whole staff was here. They had all the things that I wanted to get answered questions. Each one of them spent time with Coach Reed one-on-one, eating pizza. Then we went in there with Spags and Coach Cullen, watched some tape, basically showed me where I would be, the defense they run, how they call it, his rhythm, and I liked where I fit. So, that morning I signed, yeah. So clearly that night was worth it to them and worth it to me, and clearly them taking that initiative to do it in camp, knowing, it's early days. Like today I was woken up at 6 in the morning for a drug test, and, I didn't have to be up till 9. So, I know they have early mornings, so that was pretty dope for them to take that time to answer my questions and take that initiative to, get me here.
You played with Russell Wilson the last couple of years. You excited to go up against him since now he's with the Denver Broncos. You get 2 cracks at him this year.
I definitely have looked at the schedule. Russ is my guy. There's no personal vendetta versus him, but he's on the other side, so I have a job to do just as well as he does. But there's a lot of things on that schedule that I liked and played into my decision as well. So looking forward to getting after it.
Carlos, you mentioned that young goal with George Karlaftis.
Yeah.
What do you feel like is your opportunity to help a young guy like that? And who are some veterans maybe helped you when you entered?
I came up in a different game. I didn't have the greatest vets, in my day, because, hazing and all that wasn't exactly illegal or frowned upon. It was encouraged. So for him, I think best thing I can give him is, my perspective from experience and try to add to what he already does well. Clearly he was a first-round pick. I wasn't. So he has something that they saw that they like and they see the potential in him. So I would like to give him whatever tool that I can from my perspective to help him unlock what he already does well. I'm not trying to change him to me. I'm here I got a job to do. They already told me what my role will be, and, helping grooming him and helping all the young players along the way is part of why I understand, my role is at this point in my career, as well as winning and closing games along with them.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Carlos.
Appreciate it.
Welcome to Kansas City, man.
Yeah, it was a one-on-one rep. I just kind of like tweaked it a little bit, fell in an awkward way, and I'm cool now. But it was just a minor tweak.
Coach Schultz said, looking at you as a punt returner, how are you getting acclimated to that?
Yeah, really just I haven't really done it too much in game in college, so it's really just getting a feel for when I can take it, when I got a fair catch, and just doing the fundamentals of catching the punt. So it's going good though.
What about like jet sweeps, things like that? Is that something you did a lot of in high school, college?
Yeah, I've always been that type of player. Just to, that's like at the beginning stages of coming in. I feel like always is the jet sweeps. I'm always getting the jet sweeps. So it's not new for real.
What do you like maybe about those particular plays, maybe more so than route running?
I like getting just getting the ball fast. The faster you can get the ball, the faster you can make something happen with it. So that's what I like about those plays.
This is a complex offense. How do you feel, especially with some of the plays you are able to make out here, how do you feel you are with the playbook, and how close are you to this is going to be like second nature to you?
Yeah, it's going to be a process because it is a complex offense, but like it's starting to click, So like everything, I feel like everything in this offense, like it's counters. Like we run this play, and this play is a counter to that play, So like once you get like the basics of everything, it starts to click a whole lot faster.
Sort of hear Pat sort of explain what he wants on certain routes, and then to actually try to adjust and go with it as we go along with camp?
I mean, at the end of the day, he got the keys to the car, so just tell me what you want me to do. That's how I look at that. Just he wants it done this way. I'm gonna do it that way. So that's really all that is.
And when you guys have connected on deeper routes, just what does that do for you mentally, psychologically, the excitement of what might be on game day later on this year?
Really just not just Pat, but for all the quarterbacks, just getting that timing and being able to translate that into a game day feeling, is very important. So just any deep ball connection is a plus out here.
Speaking of those deep balls, we've heard other guys talk about that Pat tells them just keep running, right?
Yeah.
He can't overthrow you. How much has he explained that to you?
Man, that's like with Pat, you're not getting underthrown here. So, we're just a bunch of minions out there running.
Is there anybody that receivers you're leaning on? 'Cause, like McCole does a lot of the same things. It looks like you might be asked to do too. So is he a guy you're leaning on a little bit in camp, or who else is on that list?
It's really everybody. I lean on the whole room. Just if I got a question, everybody's open to answer, and we all bounce each other's ideas off each other. So, Juju, MVS, McCole, Cornell, like everybody, we're just helping each other.
How would you describe Eric Bieniemy as a coach and a coordinator after working with him for a while now?
He's just a hard how can I put it? He's gonna demand the best out of you, and that's my favorite type of coach. Just you know what I can do, and I know what I can do, and sometimes it might get hard, but he's gonna get it out of you, and that's what I love about him.
We've seen you connect on a number of deep balls, as everyone has kind of been saying. What's it like to track down a Patrick Mahomes deep ball?
It's just like I feel like just once it's in the air, you just got to keep your eyes on it and just look it in. That's all it is. Just anybody, not just Pat. It's just anytime the ball's in the air, it's about concentration. So it's been going decent for me. So
You had a moment where you kind of pinch yourself though, think like catching the ball from a Super Bowl MVP, former league MVP. I mean, you've had that kind of welcome to the NFL moment with Pat yet?
Yeah, it's hard to have that type of moment like while I'm playing, but like when I go back home and I'll like see a video or something, I'll be like, dang, like that's crazy.
How much are you getting that from friends, family members? So far.
Yeah, a lot. I mean, I've been trying to like duck off a little bit while I'm at camp, but when I do look at my phone, I see what's going on, and I'm getting a lot of praise.
I wanted to ask you, Scott, how close are you to Patrick in the film room, and what do you learn from him when you guys are going over there?
Yeah, actually, we're about to go to a meeting right now, and I sit like right behind him. So like whenever I got a question, I just go tap him real quick. You know what I'm saying? Like just, and he's always able to whisper the answer to me or like how he wants things done. So I try to stay close to him.
How beneficial are those just mini conversations as you try to learn this thing?
He probably don't even know it, but like I'll take things and run with it. Like he'll say things that I really like try to harp on. Like, all right, I got to get to the alley this practice. Last practice I didn't do that, but it's very beneficial.
Does he seem to enjoy that? Does he seem to enjoy that, giving you that feedback?
Yeah. I mean, just anytime I'm on the same page as him, that's enjoyment. So I feel like yeah, it's definitely going to be beneficial for everybody.
What jumps out to you, Skyy, about seeing Travis run routes?
Yeah.
What jumps out to you, given obviously I'm sure you've watched him throughout his career?
Yeah, like before I came here, I knew Travis was like the best tight end in the league. But now I'm seeing why. You know what I'm saying? It's about how patient and savvy he is through his route running, and he's very smart. So it's like he's not really working too much harder. He's working smarter. He's knowing like, oh, there's a dude out there. I'm gonna give a move this way and then just hook up. So it's like it's a knowledge. The knowledge that he has about the game makes him an even better route runner.
Skyy, how many rookie corners in your draft class?
Yeah.
What's it been like going up against those fellow rookies every day in practice?
It's been a battle each one of them. They're tall, they're long, fast. So I'm not the biggest guy. So those are the guys that I'm coming with my A game with, and it's just been a battle for every single one of them.
Skyy, you got to work out with Patrick in Texas.
Yeah.
How important now that you're out here in practice?
Yeah.
How beneficial was that? Getting that workout at extra rec time with him.
Yeah, like I said, it was just that was another opportunity for me to see what he likes and see how he operates. So it was very beneficial just to like go into his workspace. And I went to Dallas. That's where he's from. So it was very beneficial.
Thanks, Scott.
Yep. Thank you. Yep.